This is just a short video summary for Pirple's Python is Easy course. This is the if statements assignment. We've been asked to create a function that accepts 3 parameters and checks equality of those parameters or between any 2 of them. And so here we can see we've defined a function that checks for those parameters, returns true if there is equality, and otherwise it returns false. So we can see here we've printed the function call here, and we're going to see, let's check to see if what happens, whether we print, see down the bottom here, they're true. Okay, so that works. So we've done a few more tests just to see if it works, whether there's any faults or not. So let's try this one here. This equality checker function call checks a couple of strings, but it will return false because none of those strings are equal to one another. So we can see that it returns false. So there is a problem with this function bug. If we return, if we have a string that is an integer and we try and compare it to an integer, it will return false. Even though, for instance, if we would call these 3 numbers here, there wouldn't be equality between the 5 and the string 5. So we need to convert that string, that integer-like string, into an integer. There are 2 ways that I could think of, though I'm sure there's more, but that immediately come to mind. The first way to solve this problem is to grab the inputs of the function that you've defined and then store them into 3 different variables. But before storing them, we change each input to an integer, to make sure that each input from that will be inputted into the function will be an integer. Obviously, if it's a string, like an actual string, not an integer-like string, it won't work. We could improve that, but that's not part of this assignment. So maybe that's a good assignment for the errors assignment to come in this course. So we can see here now, if we try that, let's uncomment this line of code here. We can see here we've got an integer-like string here, 2. So this should return true according to the way we've done this. Okay, it returns true because we've grabbed all the data from all these different inputs, all these different arguments from this function, and we've actually converted them into integers. There's another way that we could do it. We could actually convert the integers when we're calling the function. So here we can see in the actual function, when we define the function, we don't do any conversion of the inputs. We don't write them to variables. We don't write any of these arguments to variables within the function. No, what we do is we just simply, when we call the function, we convert each argument into an integer. Whether it's an integer or not doesn't matter. It will be, we're guaranteed that it will be an integer when it goes into the function. So if we try this, actually, let me just save this. If we try that, let's see what happens. Okay, it returns true. Actually. It returns true here, even though this one here is a string-like or integer-like string. And same with the other one. With this other one that we've got here, we've tested a few. Okay, so we can see here, all of these function arguments are strings. None of them are integers. So now let's see what happens. Let's see if will it return true? Well, yes, it will, because we've converted all of those integer-like strings into actual integers. And so 1 and 1 are true. Okay, well, thank you for watching.